I see that you have a profound understanding of the educational system here in the United States, in El Paso, Texas. Had you ever considered the possibility of maybe staying one semester as a teacher in political sciences and see face to face how are the students, the young students, how are they developed? Had you ever considered something
well,
like that?
I actually made inquiries at different institutions about teaching courses, and I've probably been in front of 500 classes in the last decade. For one reason or another, I've taught hours in postgraduate seminars at UTEP. I've been to New Mexico State on several occasions to talk to their graduate students. I've been here at this great institution, the community college, maybe 100 times at the request of different professors for different reasons. I've been in elementary schools. I've been in Head Start, seeing what kids are learning in the first years of academic vocabulary. I think people forget how important those years are, and I think really that's one of the unseen issues in the future of American public education is the issue of academic vocabulary. What are the words that a student understands and can use in formulating and dealing with ideas in the third grade? If our students have a working knowledge of 3,000 words in English in the third grade, they might well have several 100,000 in Spanish, but in English, maybe 3,000. And a counterpart in Highland Park has a working knowledge of 30,000, 40,000 words. And our students are wondering what sheep means versus cheap. And the student in Highland Park's grandmother and mother have covered that territory 2 or 3 years before. Then formulating the idea of basic mathematics is going to be hard because you're not really hearing what the subject matter is. So I've done a little bit of that, and I think going into an education, a more focused education career would be great. I really, at this time, don't have a concrete plan to go after one particular endeavor. There's 3 or 4 that I'm thinking about, and frankly, I want to take the time to do my best and pick the very best thing that I can do in my next job.
Sticking with the education area, Senator, we were wondering what role can El Paso Community College and UTEP play in providing more and improved educational opportunities for the community?
There was a bill that passed through in the Senate, I think it was House Bill 4, and it was designed to create centers of excellence, 3 of them in Texas. And I asked UTEP to go after one. Go after the Higher Education Center of Excellence in Texas for Hispanic education. And they said, well, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, education is about everything. There's 90 different ethnic groups in Texas that are in some level of the education pipeline. In Houston, you've got Hmong, you've got Lao, you've got different ethnic Chinese, you've got French, you've got Turks. I said, but the issue really, when you look at Texas's future, is the education of Hispanic students. And in my view, the understanding of what works best in this very key population to the future of Texas is not well understood. And my hope is that UTEP and the community college increasingly can get in the middle of those issues as researchers and effective change agents to change the way we teach our students to do a much better job. Let me throw this up. In 2009, 8,900 students more or less graduated from area high schools in El Paso, from the 9 school districts that we've got. You got that thought? 8,900 Hispanic surname students. How many scored 1070 or better on the SAT? We can talk about TOCs all you want. We can do all these different issues with respect to level of testing in the 9th grade, but we've got a norm test. It's called the SAT. And if 409 students are getting that score in El Paso, Texas, from our aggregate graduating class, and that's where we are, and we're competing against cohort populations, say in Kansas City or Sacramento, California, or Singapore, and those kids are going to be asking Google for the same job 2 years into the future, which is the case increasingly, then we've got to take apart the way our education system works and have the community college in a leadership role, because the community college is right in the middle of that. There's 13 years leading up to your first year here as an associate, and then you're going to go hopefully into 2 years at UTEP or off into the job world. But my point is that community college, there are people here that have been doing this for 20 and 30 years on just how to read and write as much more effective players in the world of knowledge. The community college could take a much bigger role in doing that. And certainly UTEP, fashioning itself as a center of Hispanic education excellence, to me would be one of the necessary steps. We've had a council at UTEP which has acted as a PK to 16 council. I don't think that's nearly enough. We're not talking about kindergarten. We're not talking anymore about grade 16, which is the grade you graduate from UTEP. We're really talking about Head Start into adult education. And the community college plays maybe the biggest role in this community on adult education, truthfully. And so in looking at the pieces that need to change and how we work that, I'd hope that the community college and UTEP would step into a much more national role. There's no reason not to. I think this community college has taken enormous strides in the last 10 years. You've had 60% growth in your student population. And now it's time to take it to the next level. Be the leaders, not in El Paso, not in Texas, but in the country in this cohort. This cohort is the make or break cohort for the future of Texas. Texas is already majority minority. That happened in 2004. In 2045, the United States will be majority minority. And Texas will be a majority Hispanic state in maybe 20 short years. So unless we unlock the human potential that is already this great community, we're not going to achieve